everybody. I'm wearing shorts. You can see my legs. This is weird. It's hot here in Texas, very hot. These are my dry fire shorts for the coming up time. I've switched. I've broken my hibernation from winter, and now I'm a shorts guy. Anyways, this is a ABC dry firing channel where normally I talk about everything besides dry fire. It seems like this is actually going to be about dry firing. This is a drill that I tell people to do a lot called a ready reload transition. You're probably yelling at the screen now, what do you mean by ready reload transition? I mean ready reload transition, just like that. I'll demonstrate with this gun that has a barrel block. It is safe anyways. Ready reload transition. Upon audible start signal with gun presented, beep, reload, beep, sights on target before the next bar time. I don't do this with trigger pulls. I suppose there's not a ton of harm in beep, click, reload. I don't think there's harm in doing it that way, because most of the time your reloads are going to be preceded by a trigger pull. But for me, the stimulus of the start beep, I guess I've trained my mind to equate that to a trigger pull, that it's like, okay, I'm just looking for the go signal, whether it's a trigger pull, whether it's a timer. I do this most of the time without actually dropping mags, because I don't want to have to keep picking up magazines. I don't want magazines banging on the ground. If getting magazines out of the gun is something that you find problematic, do not put a stupid big ass mag release on your gun. Like I see these 2011s with people that have 2011s love being able to drop the magazine and pull the trigger at the same time. People buy a 2011 and they're like, I have to be able to pull the trigger while I'm dropping the magazine. Just one thing you can practice is this. You can sit there in bed and do that. Notice that my trigger finger is curling every time I press that, because that is a parasympathetic response. But since I'm moving the gun, it's no risk of pulling the trigger. Like, I'm getting way up out of the trigger guard and then moving the gun to get even farther from it. So, but you can, if you've done that and you still are just having trouble dropping magazines, it's fine to drop them. But if you don't have trouble dropping magazines in live fire, Steve Anderson says and I agree with this, you'll do more reps, obviously, if you're not picking up magazines all the time. So, ways to gain time in reloads. Let's talk about all of the things that happen in a reload, okay? Gun's clear. So we have last shot fired. Left hand comes off the gun, right thumb goes to the button. Left hand goes to the magazine, retrieves the magazine, brings it up to the mag well. The eyes are on the mag well. It inserts, you rebuild the grip, and then your eyes go to the next target, the sights go to the next target. I wasn't counting. That's at least 10 different things that can be done sooner. I think the most important ones that are often not kind of thought of as much. Everybody obviously realizes the importance of getting this magazine up to the gun faster. Like that's an obvious one. But for one, I have been kind of prioritizing some time. I've said as soon as that stimulus has occurred, go eyes to the mag well. There's no point in continuing to look at any targets with a gun that I have just ejected the magazine out of. It's like hit the button and get the eyes to the mag well. So that's one for me. Obviously hitting the button faster. You can also, I mean, there's a handful of micro drills that you could do associated with this. One would just be upon the beep, hit the button. Burkett reloads, like kind of Burkett adjacent reloads where it's beep, beep. Make your own drills, but this is just ready reload transition. So I will demonstrate. Let me get my timer up. Of course, my phone is being problematic. Here we go. back the other way. See, that's it. It's really not that difficult. And this drill can be done while moving. I will demonstrate that. I might leave the camera. Let's see. Oh, redo. Go backwards. And so you can do it while moving. Obviously, side to side. I don't have a ton of room. I'm here where I can eliminate things in the background. And this is kind of my dry firing area. So, ready, reload, transition. Ready, reload, transition. You can do multiple transitions. You can do a transition and then transition, reload, transition. Like, you know, you do. Feel free to explore the room in this drill. This is just a guidance, and I get asked all the time, like, if you're going to do something like reload or transition, reload, transition, like, do you have to beat the beginning of the par time or the end of the par time? Like, it doesn't really matter as long as it's aggressive. And kind of the parting words here, you know it's aggressive if you're dropping magazines. If you do this for 2.5 minutes, you're going to do it roughly 20-ish reps, and then I think you should rest for 30 seconds and do 2.5 more minutes, a total of 5 minutes. Going to be in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 repetitions. Like, you should drop mags. If you are pretty low skill level, D or C class, probably going to be going at a skill level where your dropped magazine ratio is pretty low. Like, you need to be mastering the, okay, button, finger off the trigger. Then for D and C class, finger off the trigger, eyes to the magwell, bullets to the magwell, slam the magazine into the gun, rebuild the grip. Then you get to B class, and like, okay, at B class you can stomach some dropped mags. You just have to tell yourself a few things. One, I'm dropping all these magazines at home, so I don't do it when I go to the match. Like, all these other suckers are going to go drop magazines at matches. I'm going to do it at home so that my drop a magazine meter is at 0 by the time I go to shoot a match on Saturday. And then also that there's a certain number of dropped magazines and fumbled reloads between you and where you want to go. How quick do you want to get there? What can your self-image tolerate as well? A to M and M to GM, like, you're going to have to be dropping mags. Like, you're going to have, like, obviously at that point, like, the highest echelons of the sport are going to require, like, making mistakes with aggressive intention to get better. You're not going to accidentally become a USPSA Grandmaster. So, don't be afraid to make some mistakes. Obviously, there's a time to sit there and do perfect reps. There's time to do it where you're dropping maybe as many as 50% of them whenever you're really pushing your par time. And then kind of parting words, this can be done while moving. This can also be done with, like, switching to one hand. So ready, reload right hand or ready, reload left hand. Beep. I'm not a very good shot timer. All right, do it again. Beep. All right. Beep. Kind of think about can you strong in and weak hand classifier. Where you go, bop, 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 bop. Reload, bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Kind of adjacent to that. So do it while moving. Do it using one hand. Do it however you see fit. There you go. There's 10 minutes.